we suffer more often in imagination than in reality.
Let me describe a feeling I know you have felt. It starts in the morning with a surge of hope. You make the list, you pour the coffee, you visualize the empire you're going to build, the book you're going to write, or the body you're going to sculpt. You have the ambition of a titan. But then you sit down to do the work and a heavy, invisible blanket falls over your mind. You open a tab, you check your phone, you clean a room that was already clean. Suddenly, it's 10 p.m., the list is untouched, and you are left alone in the dark with a crushing sense of guilt, wondering, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just do it? This video is not about time management hacks or buying a new planner. This is a deep psychological dismantling of the laziness myth. We are going to uncover why your high ambition is actually the very thing stopping you, and exactly how to rewire your brain to move from paralysis to flow. If you are ready to finally close the gap between who you are and who you know you could be, I invite you to click subscribe and join us here at Timeless Wisdom Official. Let's begin.
Part 1. The Great Deception: You are not lazy. We need to start by destroying a label that has been holding you back for years. You are not lazy. In fact, if you clicked on this video, laziness is physiologically impossible for you. True laziness is a state of indifference. A truly lazy person is perfectly content doing nothing. They sit on the couch, they stare at the ceiling, and they feel absolutely no remorse. They are at peace with their inactivity. That is not you, is it? When you are not working, you are not relaxing. You are suffering. You are stressing. You are constantly berating yourself internally. Your mind is running a marathon of self-hatred while your body remains still. This is not laziness. This is a state of high-stress paralysis. In psychology, we often call this the freeze response. You know the fight or flight mechanism, but many people forget the third option: freeze. When a deer sees a car's headlights, it doesn't run. It locks up. Its system is so overwhelmed by the magnitude of the threat that it shuts down. For the ambitious person, your goals are the headlights. You have attached so much meaning, so much of your self-worth to your success, that your brain no longer sees a task. It sees a threat to your identity. If you try and fail, your ego dies. So, your subconscious mind chooses the safest option: do nothing. You aren't avoiding work. You are avoiding the potential pain of not being perfect. The neurology of the freeze. Let's go deeper into the wiring of your brain. Inside your skull, there is a constant war between your prefrontal cortex, the seat of logic, long-term planning, and ambition, and your limbic system, specifically the amygdala, which is your primal fear center. When you set a massive goal, like start a business or learn a language, your prefrontal cortex lights up with the vision of the future. It feels amazing, but as soon as you look at the immediate, difficult step required to get there, your amygdala perceives a threat. It notices that the task is hard, uncertain, and possibly embarrassing. Because you are ambitious, you care deeply. Because you care deeply, the stakes feel life or death. Your amygdala hijacks the controls. It floods your system with cortisol and screams, "Abort mission!" The result is that you find yourself scrolling through social media or reorganizing your bookshelf. These are displacement activities. Your brain is desperately looking for a low-stakes win to lower your cortisol levels. You aren't lazy. Your brain is just frantically trying to protect you from the danger of your own high standards. The dopamine of planning versus the pain of doing. There is another trap specific to the intelligent and ambitious: the addiction to planning. Be honest with me, how many notebooks have you bought? How many productivity apps have you downloaded? How many hours have you spent color-coding your schedule? Planning feels good. In fact, neuroscience tells us that the act of talking about a goal or planning a goal releases almost the same amount of dopamine as actually achieving the goal. When you write chapter 1 on your to-do list, your brain gives you a little hit of satisfaction. You feel productive. You feel like a person who has their life together. But this is a cheap high. It is mental masturbation. You are getting the reward without paying the price. The moment you stop planning and start doing, the dopamine cuts off and the friction begins. This is why you love the architecture of the dream but hate the laying of the brick. You have become addicted to the potential of who you could be, because the potential is flawless. The reality, however, is messy. The reality involves bad drafts, awkward sales calls, and confusion. So, you retreat back to the planning phase, back to the safety of the potential, where you can be a king without ever leaving your throne. Part 2. The perfectionist's trap, the all-or-nothing fallacy. This brings us to the most dangerous enemy of the ambitious soul, perfectionism. Now, you might wear perfectionism like a badge of honor. You tell people during job interviews, "I just care too much about the details." But let's be brutally honest for a moment. Perfectionism is not a quest for excellence. It is a defensive mechanism. It is a shield you wear to protect yourself from the pain of judgment. There is a concept in psychology known as the all-or-nothing fallacy. For the ambitious person, the world is binary. Either you produce a masterpiece or you are a failure. Either you work out for an hour at high intensity or there is no point in walking for 10 minutes. You have set the bar so unimaginably high that the only logical outcome is to not jump at all. You are terrified of being average. You look at your idols, the billionaires, the great authors, the fitness models, and you see their finished product. You see the shiny exterior. But you do not see the years of messy, ugly, chaotic work that went into building that exterior. You compare your chapter 1 to their chapter 20, and the discrepancy crushes you. The gap between taste and ability. There is a profound insight by radio host Ira Glass that perfectly explains your suffering. He calls it the gap. Here is the situation. You are ambitious because you have good taste. You know what good work looks like. You know what a great business looks like. But right now, your ability does not match your taste. You sit down to create, and what comes out is disappointing. It's mediocre. It's not what you envisioned in your glowing prefrontal cortex. Because you have such high standards, you are disgusted by your own early attempts. You look at your rough draft and think, "This is garbage. I am a fraud." So you stop. You decide to wait until you are ready, until you have learned enough to produce perfection on the first try. But here is the universal law you are ignoring. The only way to close the gap between your taste and your ability is to produce a massive volume of work. You have to create the bad stuff to get to the good stuff. You have to write the terrible sentences to find the brilliant ones. By refusing to be imperfect, you are refusing to grow. You are choosing to remain a pristine dreamer rather than a messy doer. The philosophy of the beginner's mind. To break this, you must adopt a Zen philosophy known as Shoshin, or beginner's mind. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind, there are few. When you approach a task thinking, "I must be an expert immediately," you are rigid. You are brittle. But when you approach it saying, "I am a beginner, and beginners are supposed to stumble," you become flexible. You become anti-fragile. You must give yourself permission to be a fool. You must give yourself permission to be a novice. The man who is afraid to ask the question remains a fool forever. The man who asks and risks looking stupid becomes wise. Drop the heavy armor of your ego. Admit that you are learning. It is incredibly liberating. Part 3. The physiology of action, breaking the friction. So, we have diagnosed the fear and the perfectionism. Now, we must discuss the physics of movement. How do you physically get your body to move when your brain is screaming, "No"? We need to look at a concept from high school physics: static friction versus kinetic friction. Imagine a car that has broken down. You are trying to push it. The hardest part is not keeping the car moving. The hardest part is the very first inch. That is static friction. The force required to get a stationary object to move is significantly higher than the force required to keep it moving. Your work is the car. The moment before you start is the moment of maximum resistance. This is where 99% of ambitious people fail. They wait for motivation to arrive to help them push the car. They think motivation is the fuel. Listen to me closely. Motivation is not the fuel. Motivation is the exhaust. Motivation comes after action, not before. You do not feel like going to the gym before you go. You feel motivated after you have started sweating. You do not feel like writing before you type. The flow state only arrives after you have struggled through the first paragraph. Waiting for motivation to strike is like staring at a fireplace and yelling, "Give me heat and then I'll give you wood." It doesn't work that way. You must throw the wood in first. You must push the car through that painful first inch. The do it badly method. How do we overcome that massive static friction? We lower the stakes. We use what I call the do it badly method. The writer G.K. Chesterton once said, "Anything worth doing is worth doing badly." Read that again. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly. This sounds counterintuitive to your ambitious brain, but it is the secret to high performance. If a task is worth doing, it is better to do it partially, messily, and poorly than to not do it at all. Tell yourself, "I am going to write a terrible script today. I am going to do a sloppy workout for 15 minutes. I am going to clean just one corner of the room." By giving yourself permission to do it badly, you remove the paralyzing pressure of perfection. You trick your amygdala. Your fear center looks at a terrible 5-minute draft and says, "Oh, that's not a threat. We can do that." And here is the magic. Once you start doing it badly, you will naturally want to improve it. Once the car is rolling kinetic friction, it is easy to steer. But you cannot steer a stationary car. You cannot edit a blank page. You cannot improve a business idea that stays in your head. Produce garbage if you have to, but produce something. The clay must be on the wheel before you can shape it into a vase. The rule of micro-moments. Finally, shrink the timeline. The ambitious mind looks at the mountaintop. I have to climb 5,000 feet. That is overwhelming. Stop looking at the summit. Look at your boot. Your job is not to write a book. Your job is to open the laptop. Your job is not to get six-pack abs. Your job is to put on your running shoes. These are micro-moments. When you shrink the task down to a stupidly simple action, you bypass the brain's resistance. You slip through the back door of your own psychology. And once the laptop is open, once the shoes are on, the momentum takes over. Trust the momentum. But you must generate the spark. Part 4. The identity shift, killing the future you. We have discussed the biology, the psychology, and the physics. Now we must address the soul of the matter, your identity. The strongest force in the human personality is the need to remain consistent with how we define ourselves. If you define yourself as ambitious but lazy, or a procrastinator, your brain will sabotage your efforts just to keep you consistent with that label. You will unconsciously look for ways to fail so you can say, "See? I knew I was lazy." To change your life, you do not just need a new schedule. You need a new story. The future you is a lie. There is a fantasy that lives in the mind of every procrastinator. It is the myth of future you. You tell yourself, "I'm tired right now. I'm not in the mood. But tomorrow me, oh, tomorrow me will be a machine. Tomorrow me will wake up at 5 a.m., run a marathon, and write 3 chapters. You treat future you like a superhero who is coming to save present you. But I need you to understand something very dark and very true. Future you does not exist. When you wake up tomorrow, you will not be future you. You will be present you again. You will wake up with the same brain, the same fatigue, and the same resistance you have right now. By pushing the work to tomorrow, you are not solving the problem. You are compounding the interest on your suffering. You are handing a heavier burden to a version of yourself that is no more capable than you are today. Stop waiting for the superhero to arrive. You are the only one who is coming. You must save yourself, and you must do it in the only time that actually exists. Now. Casting your vote. How do you change your identity? You do not do it with affirmations. Standing in front of a mirror screaming, "I am a hard worker," while you have done nothing all day is delusional. You change your identity through proof. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you cast a vote for the type of person you want to become. To when you do one push-up, you cast a vote for, "I am an athlete." To when you write one sentence, you cast a vote for, "I am a writer." To when you clean your desk, you cast a vote for, "I am organized." You do not need a unanimous landslide victory. You just need the majority of votes. You just need to win 51% of the days. Slowly, the pile of evidence grows. You stop seeing yourself as a lazy person trying to work, and start seeing yourself as a hard worker who occasionally rests. That shift is subtle, but it changes everything. Falling in love with the boredom. Finally, realize that the evergreen wisdom we seek is not found in the excitement of the launch, but in the quiet of the process. Ambitious people are addicted to the outcome, the applause, the money, the recognition. But true mastery is learning to love the boredom. It is falling in love with the repetition. It is finding a quiet, sacred joy in the simple act of doing the work, regardless of the result. When you stop needing the work to be exciting and simply allow it to be necessary, the resistance fades. You become like the stonemason hitting the rock. Hit number 100 doesn't break the stone, but it wasn't a waste. It was preparing the stone for hit number 101. The graveyard of potential. There is a quote that says the wealthiest place on earth is not the oil fields of the Middle East or the diamond mines of South Africa. The wealthiest place on earth is the graveyard. In the graveyard, you will find inventions that were never discovered. You will find best-selling books that were never written. You will find businesses that were never launched. You will find the hopes and dreams of brilliant, ambitious people who were too afraid to start. Please, do not let your dreams be buried with you. You are not lazy. You are terrified, you are a perfectionist, and you are human. But you are also capable of so much more than this paralysis. You have a gift inside of you, and holding it back is not just a disservice to yourself. It is a disservice to the world that needs what you have to offer. Forgive yourself for the time you have wasted. Guilt is a heavy backpack. Take it off. Put it down right now. The past is dead. The only thing that matters is the next 5 minutes. Close the gap. Do it badly. Do it scared. Just do it. Thank you for spending your most valuable asset, your time, with us today. If this message resonated with the ambitious soul inside of you, please consider subscribing to Timeless Wisdom Official. We are building a community of people dedicated to deep growth and real truth, not just surface-level hack. If you are ready to make a change, I want you to leave a comment below. Don't just write "great video." I want you to write one thing, just one small thing, that you are going to do badly today just to get started. Let's hold each other accountable. Like this video to help others find it, share it with a friend who has potential but is stuck, and remember, wisdom is not what you know, it is what you do. I'll see you in the next video.